Hey guys, how's it going? So, today we are going to do a first impression let's play review of an early access game called Once Upon a Dungeon Infinity. This is a traditional roguelike game. There really are not a lot of roguelike games on Steam, despite roguelike being probably the most incorrectly used term in all of gaming history. This game is actually a roguelike. It is one of the very few roguelike games on Steam that is actually a roguelike. It is a game like Rogue. That is exactly what the term means, and so many games that claim to be like Rogue are nothing like Rogue. So today we are going to be playing and reviewing this game that is like Rogue. So as always, with all of my first impression let's play reviews, I'm going to be playing the game for an hour or more until I am satisfied that I can give you my opinion on the game. I have actually already played about an hour of this game, so it's not a complete first impression review, but I still am very new at the game, so I am very much still forming my opinion on the game. If you are in a hurry or if you have the attention span of a goldfish, then by all means you can jump to the last 10 minutes or so of the video, and I will also put the timestamp in the description below, and you can just jump to that timestamp if you only want to hear my quick, concise, final opinion on the game and whether or not I can recommend the game. But otherwise, if you don't have the attention span of the goldfish, then you can just stay tuned and I will be playing through the game and I will be giving you my running commentary and telling you what I think is good and bad about the game as I play through the game today. And then, as always, with pretty much all of my reviews do contain swearing. So if you don't like swearing, probably don't watch the video, probably unsubscribe. So just to give you a little bit of background about the game quickly, the game is recently released a couple of days ago on Steam. The developers did send me a key for the game. I actually like roguelike games, real roguelike games. As I already explained, there are many games, literally probably over 10,000 games on Steam that use the roguelike tag and claim to be a roguelike, but they are nothing like Rogue. This game is actually like Rogue. Now, in this series, Once Upon a Dungeon is actually a series of games, and one of the other games is Once Upon a Dungeon 2, which is only about a year old. And so this game also is still in early access, and I don't know what the developer is planning to do this with this game. You can see that it was updated today, so the developer is apparently still working on Once Upon a Dungeon 2, but despite the fact that the developer is still working on this game, they released a new game, which is this one, which is exactly the same as the previous game. So you can literally have a look here. Even the models are the same. The UI design is exactly the same. The map is exactly the same. All of these monsters you also encounter in this game, so you can see exactly the same character, exactly the same icons, exactly the same UI layout, exactly the same map. So I don't know. I don't know what the difference between these two are, because it's literally the same game from what I can see. Uses the same font, uses the same character. Like, really, it looks like exactly the same game. So I don't know what the difference is between these games, but yeah, that's something that you should take into consideration when considering whether or not to support this developer, because they've released this game like a year ago and it's still in early access, so they haven't finished this game, and now they released this game as well. This game is also in early access, so yeah, it's not good, especially when a small developer, obviously a big developer can pretty easily work on multiple games at once, but a small developer like this, when they start releasing multiple different games, and the multiple different games are all in early access, that is then a red flag to a practice which some unscrupulous developers do. I'm not saying that this developer does that, but that some unscrupulous developers do, which they release multiple games, all of them in early access, and then they just wait and see which game is the most popular. They wait and see which game gets the most buys or players, and then they develop that game, and they just abandon the other games. So yeah, so far I can't see that this developer has done that. This developer is still working on Once Upon a Dungeon 2, which released a year ago, and now they released Once Upon a Dungeon Infinity, and they're working on Once Upon a Dungeon Infinity from what I can see. But anyway, that is something that you should consider when considering to buy this game. And the game is pretty cheap. The game is $5. So it's not gonna break the bank or anything like that. $5 is not a huge amount of money. Even if you throw it in the water, it's not the end of the world, you know. So anyway, we're gonna jump into the game. As I said, I've already played about an hour of the game. And yeah, like there's a couple of things that I have an issue with. The difficulty options of the game is quite lacking, because they don't give you any information regarding the difficulty. So when you start the game, like over here, you can choose between hard, normal, and easy, but there is no information at all on what changes. Like, no information whatsoever. So what it should say over here is like whatever on hard, enemies deal 50% more damage and have 50% more health or whatever. And then on easy, enemies have 50% less damage and 50% less health, something like that. But this game doesn't tell you any of that, so that's bad. That basically means that the choice that you make here, especially if you choose hard or easy, obviously normal is normal. You would assume that on normal, enemies have 100% HP and you have 100% HP and all of that kind of stuff. But on hard and easy, you cannot make an educated choice. So the next, whatever, 10 hours, 20 hours, 30 hours of your life is going to be determined by this option that you select here, and yet you have no fucking idea what this option actually does. You don't know if hard is going to be too hard. You don't know if on hard the enemies have 500% added damage or some crazy shit like that. And you don't know if easy is gonna be too easy. The enemies could have minus 80% HP, you know? You just don't know, and that's not good because the developer can simply add a little tooltip over here and this problem would be avoided. So that's one of the big issues that I currently have with the game. And then one interesting thing is that you can actually disable diagonal combat. So I haven't played a rogue in a very long time. It's like 2.5 decades since I last played rogue, but I don't remember that rogue had diagonal combat. So this game you can either choose to have or not have diagonal combat. So that's pretty interesting. Most roguelike games don't have diagonal combat. So this game allows you to choose or not choose diagonal combat. That's good. That's a very good quality of life feature. If only the developers added that kind of quality of life to the difficulty options. But anyway, the difficulty option so far is the only big issue that I have with the game. As far as the settings and those kinds of things go. So, if the game will just load a little bit. So the game is a pretty standard, I would say, a rogue-like game. If you don't know what game a rogue is, you should probably pause right now, stop the video, and just Google rogue. Rogue, I think, was released in 1986 or something like that. It was released in the 80s. And it is what all rogue-like games are based on. Any game that claims to be like Rogue has to be like Rogue. That is what the entire genre of rogue-like games are based upon. And this game follows the rogue-like formula pretty bloody well. There is turn-based combat, so when you move, the enemies move. And then you move, the enemies move. You move, the enemies move. You move, the enemies move. That is turn-based combat as it was in rogue-like. You cannot have a rogue-like game if the game doesn't have turn-based combat. Then there is inventory management. There is various RPG style equipment that you can equip, like amulets and swords and shields and axes and daggers and gear, armor, rings, gloves, helmet, that kind of stuff. There's also consumables, which is also something that is basically a requirement of a rogue-like game. Consumables, like food and potions and those kinds of things. There's also staves or staves and wands and ammunition for your various ranged weapons. The ranged weapons actually use ammunition. So you can't just shoot infinitely. If you have a crossbow, you actually have to like give it arrows. And there's also spells in the game, even though I don't like the spells, to be honest. My character is a melee fighter. So apart from that, there's also abilities. I'm not very happy with the amount of abilities that are in the game. The amount of abilities and the spell casting in general is very, very mediocre. It's very borderline. The game honestly should have 3 times the amount of abilities and passives and spells and those kinds of things in the game than what the game currently has. So the game has some very, very basic passives: health regeneration, mana regeneration, added blocking with a shield, extra loot from looting, and then masteries: sword mastery, dagger mastery, bashing mastery, scepter mastery, bow mastery, each of which add a separate modifier to using that particular skill. Then apart from the passives, you have active bonuses or active skills. These are actually skills. And here we come to a little issue. The game, just like with the difficulty options, doesn't do a very good job at all. In fact, it does a fucking terrible job at explaining what the skills exactly do, and also the very important things like duration of a skill. So this skill, this is a skill, or you can also call it a spell. This skill slash spell increases your defense for a few turns, and that's all. That's all that the skill tells you. That's all that the developer tells you. So at level 1, this will affect you for a few turns, but the game developers don't tell you how much a few turns is. The same with this skill that I actually use, it's over here. This skill is used automatically, and then it lasts for one attack. It only lasts for one single attack. So on one attack, you will do 3 added fire damage, 3 added cold damage, 3 added poison damage for one attack. And then it will go on a cooldown. So let me show you guys here quickly. Let me pull one of these snakes towards me. Okay, so I killed it too fast. It didn't even use the skill. So let's pull this guy. Okay, multiple guys are coming towards me now. Let's punch them up as good as we can. Okay, so all of these guys seemingly... Or do I need to activate the skill? Okay, apparently I need to activate the skill. But the skill is used, I will show you guys in just a second. The skill is used, and then it goes on a cooldown. Okay, so there, we just hit the guy with our +3 to fire, poison, and cold. And it's a single hit. So you hit and then the skill goes on cooldown. But it doesn't state the cooldown at all. So if you look over here, if you actually go to the skill, it doesn't state that there's a cooldown on the skill at all. It also doesn't state that it is for a single attack, because it's just for a single attack, and yet it says adds elemental fire damage to melee attacks. It's actually just one attack, and then the skill goes on a cooldown. So it doesn't say the cooldown, and it doesn't properly say what the skill actually does. Exactly the same with this one. It increases your defense for a few turns when you cast the ability, but it doesn't say for how long. Like, is it 1 turn? Is it 2 turns? Is it 77 turns? Like, the game developers really do a shitty job of saying what the skills actually do. So how are you supposed to make an educated decision, just like with the difficulty options, with the skill options? How are you supposed to build a character? Because you're not given any information in many aspects. You're not given any information about the duration of this skill. And with this skill, you might think that it is like always active or something like that, or it's an ability that you can toggle and then it's always active. But no, it actually has a duration of 1 turn, and then it goes on a cooldown. And none of that is stated on the actual skill. It doesn't state that there's a cooldown, and it doesn't state that there's a duration of 1 turn. So all of the skills have this problem. All of the skills are not properly described with regards to many different things like the duration and the cooldown and the effects and all of that kind of stuff. So the amount of information that the developer gives you is absolutely dog shit. It's just not good. On the passives, it's pretty good because the passives, whatever it states over here, that is what you get. But on the active skills and on the spells, it's just really, really bad to the point where you are almost certainly gonna make a mistake. You might think that, oh, Magic Ball is really awesome, and then you take Magic Ball, you actually have to spend a skill point on Magic Ball in order to use it. So you use it, and then you find out, oh shit, this Magic Ball skill is actually really bad. It's not what I thought it would be. So, yeah, that's a really big issue with the game. The amount of information that is provided to the player is absolutely dog shit. There's no reason for the developers to have given the player such a small amount of information with regards to everything in the game, frankly. So that's a big issue. That's honestly one of the biggest issues that I have with the game. Otherwise than that, the game doesn't have dual key bindings. I actually really would have liked it if you could have dual key bindings, but the game doesn't allow you to have dual key bindings. So that's not good. I don't like the fact that the game doesn't have dual key bindings. It really would have been better if the game had that option available. Why can't I move over there? Hey, why is A not working? Sometimes the controls don't work. It's really weird. Like on my keyboard, I press W, A, S, and D, and sometimes it just doesn't work. Like, you can play the game with a mouse. Like, if you click over there, your character will move over there. So you can play the game with a mouse, but I prefer to play the game like Rogue, which you would do like this, you know, moving one single square at a time. And yeah, the game doesn't do a good job of allowing you to do that, because sometimes when you press a key, the key simply doesn't respond. The key simply doesn't do anything. So that's really weird. So yeah, otherwise, other than your abilities, you also have the traditional rogue-like attribute system, which is health, strength, magic, defense, dexterity. Now, another pretty big issue with the game is the fact that they don't tell you at all what these actually do. They don't tell you at all at any point throughout the game what magic does, what defense does, what dexterity does. You have no idea what any of these skills do. Now, I know from playing the game that dexterity increases your attack damage by 1. It might do something else as well, maybe, but I know that at least it increases your attack damage by 1. It might also do something else, I don't know. Magic, I don't know what magic does. I haven't seen my mana increasing or anything like that. It might do, I don't know. I would have to test by adding 1 to magic and looking at my mana, but I'm not sure what magic does. Defense, you would assume that defense basically lowers the damage that you receive, but you don't know if it's a flat amount of damage. Like, adding 1 defense reduces the damage received by 1. You don't know if that is how defense functions, or if defense reduces the amount of damage taken based on a algorithm, like if you have 1,000 defense then you receive 40% less damage received. You know, something like that. You honestly don't know because the game doesn't tell you. The game doesn't tell you at all. And the same with dexterity. I don't know what dexterity does. The game doesn't tell you what it does. The game does have many items, like this sword, for instance, requires 20 strength and 15 dexterity. If you don't have that amount, the required amount, then you cannot equip the item. So that is one function of the stats in the game, the attributes in the game. But on top of that, it also improves some modifiers. Like I say, adding 1 strength adds 1 attack. But I don't know what else it does. I don't know if it increases your health. I don't know if it increases your chance to hit. I don't know, because the game doesn't tell you anywhere at any point what these do. So that's really, really shitty as well. As I already said, these developers unfortunately do an absolutely fucking terrible job at telling you anything, literally anything in the game. The developers just do a really, really terrible job of telling you anything. Also, the game has quests, but you just randomly pick them up throughout the dungeon. Like, there's no quest givers at the beginning of the game or anything like that in the town, quote unquote the town, which I will show you a little bit later when I have to go to town when my inventory is full. So you just pick up quests like throughout the level, which come in the form of these little papers like these ones. Adventurer note. I actually have 2 of them, but they're different. So you go like that and then you press accept, which I have already done. So that's how you get quests. So there's no central hub where you get quests or where you have quest givers or anything like that, unfortunately. So yeah, with that being said, let's play a little bit of the game and see or at least I want to show you guys a little bit of the game, obviously. So you also pick up items by pressing a certain key. There's a pickup key, so over here, grab. I've set grab to be mouse button number 3. So as I'm moving, I will randomly press mouse button number 3 and then it will suck up any loot towards my character. And yeah, just like in a Rogue, if you've played Rogue, which I doubt many of you have, but that's fine. Rogue is a very, very old game, so I won't chastise you for that. There's some games that I would chastise you for not playing, like Witcher 3. I would expect every human alive on the planet right now to have played Witcher 3. But Rogue, honestly, Rogue is such an old game that I wouldn't really mind if people haven't played Rogue. So if you haven't played Rogue, this game is pretty much 100% Rogue. You move wherever you want. The dungeons are seemingly randomly generated. There's different creatures moving around on the map. The game is turn-based, all of that kind of stuff. This game is really, really good at being a rogue-like game. It's literally a game like Rogue. So you can either attack diagonally, you can attack with a mouse, you can attack with a keyboard if you want to by pressing, like here, if I want to attack that one, you have to press A and S simultaneously to move diagonally. So you can do that, although there I did it incorrectly. You have to press the buttons very, very perfectly, basically, to move down like that. If you press it incorrectly, then you will move up and right. So you have to press the buttons on your keyboard very perfectly in order to move diagonally. It's honestly easier to move with the mouse, because with a mouse you will never move diagonally incorrectly. You will never move down and right. If you move with a mouse, you will always move where you are telling your character to move. So I honestly prefer to play with the mouse when in combat or when I have to move diagonally. So this one is a boss. This dude over here, it's not like a boss, but it's a champion, enemy. These guys are very strong. They're very, very strong. Each battle against the champion is like a fucking really difficult battle. So yeah, let's see if I can defeat this one without too much effort, hopefully. Wow, I probably crit that motherfucker or something. What the hell was that? Did I poison him? Oh, what the hell? How do you go? I don't even know how to go through the combat log. But yeah, holy shit, I think I destroyed him with a crit or something like that. So that one was very, very easy. Holy crap, that was the easiest champion battle that I've had so far. So we did level up. This over here at the bottom is our experience bar. And then with every level up, you get 3 skill points and 5 attribute points. So if we look over here, I'm gonna put 1 on magic and see what happens. So 48. So let's have a look. Okay, so 1 magic does increase your mana by 1 as well. It doesn't seem to increase your spellcast chance. You can see the spellcast chance is at 75%, and even if I add many into magic, it doesn't do anything to the spell cast chance. So it seems that magic just increases your mana by 1, strength increases your attack by 1. I don't know if it also increases something else, like maybe your piercing or your melee hit chance or anything like that. I don't know. And then defense increases your defense by 1. And from what I've seen, it doesn't increase your dodge chance or anything like that. So defense doesn't affect your dodge chance as far as I can see. And then dexterity, I'm not even sure what dexterity does. You see, nothing changes when I add dexterity. So yeah, it doesn't seem that dexterity does fuck all, to be honest. That's the issue that I was speaking about. You don't even know what dexterity does. Like, it doesn't even show what any of these skills do. So I'm not going to be spending anything on my attributes right now, because this game is one of those games where you will sometimes pick up a new weapon, like this weapon for instance, and then you won't have 20 strength or you won't have 15 dexterity, and then if you have skill points or if you have attribute points, then you can at least try to reach that amount, the amount that is required by the item. So I like to have some attribute points remaining, so that if I pick up a very good item that I can't use, that has like a higher stat point requirement than what I currently possess, then I can just add the attribute points over here. So that's why I'm not going to spend these attribute points right now. I will, however, spend my skill points. So spells in the game don't seem very good, to be completely honest. I've cast some spells through scrolls, because you have scrolls and then you have these spells which take mana, and I haven't found any good spells so far, to be honest. These ones are also not very good. I put 3 points into this, but I'm not very happy with this ability, to be honest. So I'm just basically focusing on my passives. The passives are very good. Passives are quite powerful, to be honest. So I've got that one already, which gives me a 15% chance to strike back at an enemy. I think I want the shield mastery. The shield mastery seems very good. I could also do like sword. What do I currently have? This is a sword. Yes, it's a sword. The problem with investing skill points into a certain weapon is that you're not guaranteed to use that weapon always. So I might invest into swords right now because I'm wearing a sword right now, but then I pick up a very, very powerful hammer or a mace, then I basically, when I switch to the mace, I won't get any benefit from it anymore. So I'm really not a huge fan of this type of investment system. If it said ranged weapons and melee weapons, that would be fine. I would invest into melee weapons because then it would be an all-encompassing specialization for melee weapons. So I wouldn't mind that. But this is much more situational, and I'm not a fan of it. So honestly, I'm gonna stick to these ones. Let's do shields because I actually like shields. Shields are really quite powerful because they block damage. So increasing the power of my shield will be pretty nice, I think. How far is my inventory? Okay, I've still got quite a bit of stuff to go in my inventory. Also, there's no comparison in the game. So normally in most games you can press Shift or Alt or Control or anything like that to compare items. There's no comparison system in the game. So if you want to compare items, you have to go like this the whole fucking time. So that's another stupid feature of the game. Honestly, if the developers fixed small little issues like that and actually provided the player with some information with regards to many of the different things in the game that are unknown, like what does strength do and what does magic do and what does defense do, all of those kind of things, then the game would actually be pretty good, to be honest. It would be a pretty good rogue-like game. But with all of these different quality of life features missing, honestly, the game is a lot worse than what it would have been if it had all of these different quality of life things. Oh, that one is actually very good. Holy shit. That one is actually better? Oh no, it's not better. Well, it's pretty close to being better than mine, but mine is a little bit better. So, like, the game is still in early access, obviously. Yeah, but the developers can definitely do a lot to make the game better. So let's explore a little bit. Oh, those gloves look nice. Yes, they're better than my gloves currently. Okay, so I went all the way around, so now I can go into one of these areas over here. Okay, that's a lot of snakes. And then this is a champion. Oh, that's another thing that champions do. Champions disarm you. So a champion, when it hits you, will randomly throw away one of your items. So it just threw away my helmet. Sometimes they throw away your weapon or your shield, then it's really, really shitty. That's why I carry extra weapons in my inventory just in case my weapon is thrown away. Like, if my helmet is thrown away, it's not the end of the world, but if your chest armor or your main weapon is thrown away, then you're in deep shite. So I try to avoid that by just carrying extras, basically. Okay, so that champion battle was actually pretty easy. That over there is a trap. That thing that shines like that, that's a trap. Oh, there's another champion. Okay, so I don't want to get caught. Okay, the champion went into the trap. That's nice. And it went into the trap again. Fucking stupid champion. Come on, big boy. It would seem my character is really powerful right now because I recently got this from a chest and then also better chest armor. So my character had a really weak weapon that only does 2 to 4. Now I have a weapon that does 5 to 7 and obviously a bunch of cold damage, fire damage, poison damage enchanted on the weapon as well. So it would seem my weapon is now able to cleave these bastards in twain very, very easily. Oh, that's a very good ring. We will equip that ring and then we can also maybe enhance the ring. I will see in just a second. Okay, so this is an unidentified item. Let's identify that one. Oh, that's a better shield than what I currently have. That is not a better helmet than what I currently have. It's a good helmet, but it's not better than what I currently have. Do I want 5 attack or 5 defense? I think let's go for 5 attack. 5 attack will be better, and then we want to enhance this item. A lot of the items have sockets, and you can put the socket into an item like this, or this one has one socket, this one doesn't have a socket, this one has one 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 socket. So some items have 2 sockets, some items have no sockets. So you just have to look out for the items that have sockets. Gems. Okay, so jewelry plus 2 HP, chance to hit melee plus 2, mana and health, mana, strength. Wow, 5 strength and then 5 dexterity. Let's put 5 strength in there. That'll be really nice. Zwing. Now this one has plus 5 strength. That's pretty good. I can also put something into my shield if I want to. But I don't think I want to do that. I mean, I have so many of these. I might as well. swing, chance to evade melee attack plus 8%. That's quite a lot. So yeah, as you can see, the game has a traditional RPG system as well. Wow, there's another champion. This place in total had like 3 champions. That's the most champions that I've ever encountered in a single area. What the hell is that I just picked up? Find key to boss room. Okay, I just found a key apparently. Let's see what I just picked up. Oh, a unique shield. Okay. Holy schmoly. Okay, just when I socketed this fucking shield, now I pick up a much better shield. So yeah, this one gives cold resist, fire resist, chance to evade 10%, health and 5 defense, and on top of that 5 defense, so it gives 10 defense. Wow, that's a very good shield. It's a very, very, very good shield. The music of the game also is not too bad, honestly. The music is not too shabby at all. Some of the music is bad, but this song that's playing right now is actually not too bad. I'm gonna turn it up a little bit for you guys, then you guys can just listen. It's actually a nice little song. You see, and then this song that's playing right now is not very good. Let's see if you do that. No, apparently not. I don't like this song. The other song I really like. I would have that song play constantly if I could. So I think I'm done at the bottom. I always just want to check and double check that I'm not missing any loot. There's loot over there on the left side. Well, you actually constantly get experience for these. Like, look at my experience. You actually get experience for them, so why would you even want to destroy that spider's nest if you're constantly gonna be getting experience? Like it's a literal infinite experience glitch. Obviously, if you're able to kill a constant string of spiders. If you're not able to kill a constant string of spiders, then you probably wouldn't want to leave that thing alive. But since I'm able to kill them very easily, then it's really not a problem for me to keep them alive. Okay, we got another level. I will invest more into the shield mastery, especially now that I have a very powerful shield. if you can make the powerful shield even more powerful, then why not? Oh, that's a weapon that I haven't got yet. Okay, now my inventory is full. So with a full inventory, I have to go back to base. Okay, so where's the portal? Okay, over there. So you make a portal, and then you go through it, and then this is the town, and then you can sell your stuff. I think it was control click to sell. Shift click. Yes, shift click. Wow, that's actually a lot of damage. It gives a total of 7 added damage. My current one only gives a total of 4 added damage. But mine is overall stronger. Oh, another thing that I don't like about the game is the fact that they don't allow you to dual wield. Like, there's no dual wielding in the game, so you can't have 2 weapons at once. I'm really not a fan of that, since dual wielding, I like the idea of dual wielding in games. So the fact that they don't allow you to do that makes me sad. You see, this one has 2 sockets, for instance. All of the rest of these are like consumables and stuff like that, so I'm not gonna sell those. Also, all of these scrolls, I basically keep all of the scrolls just because you never know what you're gonna need when you're gonna need it. So I have enough money to buy basically anything right now. But I think I'm pretty happy with my current stuff. The vendor sells some very good stuff, like even better than what I can currently wear, like stuff above my level currently. But no, I'm pretty happy with my current. Wow, that's a lot of damage. But it's probably a two-hander, maybe. It doesn't say that it's a two-hander, but that looks like a two-hander. But yeah, anyway, I'm not gonna do anything like that right now. And then let's just cook our food, because the game actually has cooking. So this is a nice little quality of life feature. Instead of having to drag over all of your items individually to the fire, you can just click over here. It automatically adds everything that you can cook from your inventory into here. And then you click on grill, and then you click on return to backpack. So that's a nice little quality of life feature, which saves you a lot of time. If only the developers took that approach with the rest of the game as well. Let's see what this guy has for sale. I'm probably not gonna buy anything unless it's like really, really good. I am level 8, so why is this thing showing that I can't wear it, despite the fact that I'm clearly a higher level than the requirement for the item? Like, that's weird. It shows red level 5, but I'm level 8 already. Unless that's just like a visual glitch or something like that. A lot of the items are also unidentified, so you can't see exactly if it's good or not. Yeah, there's some very good items, even better than my current one, but I'm not sure if I will actually be able to wear that one because it shows a raid level 6, which I don't understand exactly. But anyway, I'm pretty happy with my current level of power. I'm flying through the enemies, so I don't really think it's necessary for me to do anything. Did I drop that one on the ground, or what did I do? Oh, it's over there. It just didn't reflect immediately. So all of these throwing things you can put in there. Like, why doesn't it reflect immediately? See over here to the left, it doesn't reflect sometimes. That's a little visual glitch. You see, like here, it's not the... oh, it's over there. Oh, okay. It's just weird, it doesn't reflect immediately. This one as well, fireball scroll. You can see there's no fireball scroll anywhere. Nowhere. And then when I close it and open it up again, the fireball scroll is gonna be over here. Look at that. So that's just weird. Like, the game is weird sometimes. There's a couple of visual glitches in the game still, it seems. Now, as long as there's no, like, game-breaking bugs, then I guess it's not the end of the world, you know? Okay, so that's basically the smallest that I'm gonna be able to make my inventory. And then we go back in. The game also has like a portal thing over here, but I don't know, I can't teleport anywhere. Like, it shows world map, but like even if I zoom out, there's nothing. So I don't know. I don't know exactly. Like, this is literally this area is completely surrounded by mountains, so you can't go out of this area. And this is a portal, but there's no other portals. Like, literally, there's no other portals that I can click on. So I don't know if maybe later on we unlock more of the world. I don't know, but right now there's nowhere to which I can teleport. Let's see, this gloves. Wow, that's a lot of defense. So I'm going from gloves that give 3 defense to gloves that gives 20 defense. Holy shit balls. And then I can maybe add 4 additional defense. Wow, 12 to all elemental resist. That is a shitload. Yeah, let's add 12 to all elemental resist. That seems very good. That's very, very, very good. Okay, onward and upward. So, it seems this one isn't shutting out spiders anymore. So we're just gonna kill that one. And then I think I'm done. I'm not gonna break these barrels because these barrels just contain oil. Okay, so I think I'm done here now with this area. We can move on to the next one. I actually haven't explored over here yet. Okay, there's a boss in there. Ouch. Accidentally stepped in a trap. Fortunately, my health regen is pretty good. I think I get like 2 health per second or per turn at least. So my health regen is pretty nice. Okay, I think that's pretty much all. I've already been down here. I cleared this previously. So I haven't been in here yet. This is a boss battle. You can actually see through the thing by hovering like this, which is a little bit of a bug. Holy schmoly. 36 defense. That is significantly more powerful than what I have currently. I'm picking up some really, really banger gear here. Way better than what I had. Okay, let's see. So this is gonna be a boss.
You'll be my slaves for eternity.
Yes, yes. So the key in these type of roguelike games is not to get surrounded. Yeah, that one is actually not that powerful. I thought it would be more powerful. 250 strength, 60 health, that's not incredibly powerful. Okay, come over here, please. Like, the key is just to not get surrounded. If you get surrounded, you can get screwed over very quickly. And bosses have some abilities like ranged attacks, so you have to watch out for the ranged attacks of the bosses as well. Okay, he threw away my helmet. That's not ideal. Let's see if I can pick up my helmet. Okay, now the boss cast Weaken on me. And the boss just farted, apparently. Okay, oh, 127 to strength. That's quite a lot of strength. Yeah, that's something that the bosses also do sometimes. The bosses can teleport when you're trying to run away. Wow, that's a lot of damage. Okay, the boss threw away my shield. Okay, that's good. So that boss wasn't so difficult, but that 6 damage per turn poison that it inflicted on me is brutal. Like 6 damage per second or per turn will kill me in like less than 10 turns. So that poison is brutal. Now the rest of them should be pushovers, basically. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, the inventory is bugged. There we go. Oh yeah, this is that song that I actually like. And the song is gone. This is actually pretty good because life stealing, I think, will be fantastic. So you basically lose 5% chance to hit, but you gain 4% life stealing. I like that. Let's take that one. I think the life stealing will be nice. These are powers that you can get. They call it god powers. So it's just like powers that you can activate by clicking over there, but it uses mana. So and it's not such a big benefit, honestly. I hardly ever use it. But yeah, they're god powers that you get in the game. Hey, I got a portal book. That's really nice. So it's like god powers. That's essentially like a power-up type thing that you can use. Holy crap, that's a lot of damage. That's a huge amount of damage. No, I think I'm gonna use that instead of this one. Yeah, you can't. Oh, animal equipment. So that's animal equipment. Okay. Interesting. Oh, 10 plus mini attack is nice. Okay, so overall I didn't get anything fantastic, but this task is not bad. It's not amazingly better than my current one, but it's not bad. Okay, so we're done with this boss fight. At least you guys were able to see a boss fight. Because they're not super frequent, you know, you basically have to go through a lot of rooms before you get a boss fight like that. That's only my second boss fight, I think, in the game so far. Okay, so I just want to make sure that I'm done everywhere. Okay, so there's a room over here and then down there. So we can go in here or we can go down there. Let's go in here, why not? Okay, there's a bunch of enemies down here. No champions, at least. You see there, I had to use the keyboard to do the diagonal attack, and it moved up and then right instead of attacking diagonally, and that resulted in me taking an unnecessary hit. Okay, that goes to the next level, so we've unlocked the next level. There's 10 levels in this dungeon, but I don't know if they, like, I don't think the game ends after that, obviously. But I don't know what happens after reaching the end of the 10 floors in this dungeon. I don't know if we then can go to another dungeon or what, I'm not really sure. Okay, so there's no champions in here, that's good. Okay, so we can go down. We can't go up, we can't go right, so we have to go down. We can go in there if we want to right now, but obviously I want to finish the entire floor 100% before moving on. Even though we can move on right now if we wanted to. Okay, once again, just a bunch of regular snakes, no champion. Okay, and that should be it for this entire level. Yeah, I think that is literally everything on this entire level. So we can move on. Oh, there's still something over there. Why haven't I been over there? But there's no doors here. Ah, okay. Secret. And there's a champion here. Well, I absolutely destroyed that champion. Okay, my inventory is full. So let's make a portal. That one is actually pretty good. It gives a lot of health. Yeah, let's take that one. I'm gonna keep at least one chest armor and then at least one shield in my inventory. And at least one extra weapon in my inventory. Because, yeah, like, when you get disarmed and you're without a weapon or a shield or a chest armor, you can very quickly lose a battle. And then I want to buy a dog. Ow. Okay, apparently the dog has its own stats and all of that, so... Okay, there you go. What else can I give to the dog? And then this I can also give to my dog. I think that's it pretty much. Okay, we will see how strong this dog is. Okay, dog, hopefully I didn't waste 100 gold on you. Why is this all black? That shouldn't be black. I've already been in this area. So that's another bug. This one as well. Why is this black? I mean, the game is still in early access, but holy hell, this is quite a lot of bugs. I said earlier that I don't mind a game in early access having bugs, as long as it's not game breaking, but there's also a limit, you know, like there's a limit of how many bugs one is willing to entertain, you know. Holy crap, you killed that thing in one hit. How much damage do you do, dog? This dog seems very strong. Look at that shit. Dog is just tearing stuff apart. Okay, there's also a door over there that we shouldn't forget about. Okay, so we have maximum shield specialization. We have that. I guess we can maybe add some mana. I don't have any mana regen currently. I guess that's fine, even though I don't use mana right now, but I might use mana eventually. Wow, look at my defense. Okay, so this is a boss in here, apparently. That's a champion. 32 health, that's very weak actually. It doesn't look like my hound is healing at all. I'm a little bit concerned about that. I wonder if the hound can heal at all. So if you look at his health, 25 currently. I wonder if he can heal at all. Wow. Okay, well, it's not better than mine, but it's pretty good. Okay, let's see this boss in here. Oh, okay. So we can't go in here because it's locked. Really liking this dog actually. Dog, you're taking a lot of damage. I wonder what happens when dog dies. Like, do we even want to test that? Okay, let's save. And then let's see what happens if dog dies. Okay, dog, you can fight them. I actually want you to lose, dog. Dog is just fucking them up, like, dog doesn't want to die. Dog is a boss. Like, he's one-hitting these mofos. That spider didn't even have a chance to catch a breath of fresh air, and then already he was dead. That skeleton as well. Okay, so here we can test what happens if dog dies. So dog, go stand there in front. Front and center. Let's see how you fare against the champion, even though that's a very weak champion. Wow, 2 hits and the champion is dead. Dog is a monster. It's a little bit stupid that the dog doesn't even have regeneration or anything like that. Is dog gonna die? Okay, dog is dead, and then it drops his shit on the ground, so... I'm assuming he is dead permanently then? Yeah, so probably he's dead permanently. So, okay, well, we at least found out what happens when dog dies. So we basically have to keep feeding dog with, like, stuff. Why are we over here and not where we were? Okay, well, let's give some food to dog. Okay, that should be enough. Hopefully the dog isn't wasteful with the food. Like, he only should have used one. Okay, it looks like I only used one, so he's got 3 and 6. I've got to remember that. So this entire map now has reset. Like, why? Why did the map reset? I'm still where I was. I'm still at 4 out of 10. But the map completely reset. Despite me saving. Because I did save and I still have the same gear as when I saved. And I still have the same items as when I saved. So I don't understand why the game doesn't just save. It seems like when you save and exit and come back into the game again, the entire level is reset, which is just unnecessary. Why would that be? A 6% chance to parry is not bad. Melee attack, that's pretty nice. But I don't know if I want to exchange it for 9 defense. 12 melee attack, that's better than the one that I have over there, but not much better, and I already enhanced that one, so... So yeah, I don't know, there's a couple of strange things in the game, you know, like the resetting, like why doesn't the game just put you back where you were, you know? The fact that the dog's health doesn't regenerate at all is weird. The AI of the dog is not particularly good, it seems. I mean, it's okay, but like the dog's... Oh, that's a bug. The dog's AI just seems a little bit suboptimal, you know, it's not very optimal. His movements and his positioning during a fight and all of that certainly leaves a little bit to be desired, but I mean, I guess the developer can just make the argument that it's a dog, you know, what do you expect, you know? It's not gonna be the best tactician ever, you know? Dogs aren't known for their battlefield strategy all that much, to be honest. So I guess that might be the defense that the developer would use when being criticized on the behavior and the AI of the dog, you know. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the dog, you know. It's not too bad, not perfect, but not too bad. Honestly, guys, I think I've played enough of the game to make my decision on the game. Oh, okay, now we must retreat, you see. The dog is not retreating. The dog is just going full balls to the wall. So in a situation like that, I would want the dog to retreat. And you can't tell the dog to retreat, you see. Stay close evidently doesn't actually mean the dog stays close. The dog just sometimes decides to just stand there like fucking come on champion, you know. So and anyway, I've already said that the AI of the dog definitely is not super good. It can be improved. So yeah, I've played enough of the game. Is my inventory full? Yes, my inventory is full. I've played enough of the game to make a determination. And hounds use dedicated armor and items. So is that not a hound item? Is that a normal item for me? Helmet, magic. Okay, I guess that might be just a normal item for me then. It's not very clear on what items are for the hound and which items are Oh, that's not actually a bug. This thing over here is not actually a bug. It actually looks like that. It's not very clear which items are for the hound and which items are for the human. But yeah, then again, a lot of stuff is not clear, you know. The game honestly is not very good in the information department, you know. It really leaves a lot of stuff unexplained in the game, you know, like with the stats. Like, the game doesn't tell you at all what health does, strength, magic, defense, dexterity. Doesn't tell you at all what any of that shit does. Doesn't tell you what easy, normal, or hard difficulty does at all. It does a fucking terrible job at explaining the skills and the spells. Just, it almost could not do a worse job at explaining the different skills. Like, it doesn't show you what the duration is of Iron Skin. It just says increases defense for a few turns. Like, how much is a few turns? Is it 1 turn? Is it 2 turns? Is it 77 turns? Like, how many turns? The same with this thing. This thing adds that amount of damage, 333, adds that amount of damage to 1 hit, and then it goes on a cooldown. It doesn't tell you how long the cooldown is. It doesn't tell you that it only adds it to 1 attack. It actually says 2 melee attacks. So you would assume that it adds it to multiple attacks, or that it is an active effect, you know, for multiple turns. But no, it only adds it to 1 attack, and then it goes on a cooldown. So it also doesn't tell you what the mana cost is, because this thing does actually have a mana cost. So yeah, just overall a really, really terrible job with explaining anything in the game. The game developers honestly could almost not have done a worse fucking job with explaining stuff in the game. But honestly, overall, like, I don't think there's enough active skills. I don't think there's enough spells. I don't think there's enough passives. Like, honestly, everything should just be more. More skills, more spells, more passives. Like, everything should just be more. Now, with all of that being said, the game only costs $5, you know. Do you really expect the game, a $5 game, to be like a game that is able to give you 200 hours of playtime, you know? Probably not. Probably for $5, you should probably lower your expectations a little bit, you know? I don't like it. I don't like that is how you should be, you know? But that is honestly, with a $5 game, that's how you should be, you know? Not all $5 games on Earth can give you in excess of 100 hours of gameplay, you know? Not all games are going to be like super expensive. And I'm not even talking about games that have a loop, you know. This game doesn't have a loop. I'm talking about games that don't have a loop. Games that have a loop that can give you more than 100 hours of gameplay is games like Vampire Survivors, you know. That game cheats by having a loop. I'm talking about a game like Diablo, or a game like Path of Exile, or anything like that doesn't have a loop. Diablo, like, if you don't consider the end game, obviously the end game has a loop. That's why it's called the end game loop. So Diablo, at the very end of the game, after you've completed the game, then the game has a loop, and Path of Exile has a loop at the end of the game, where you just do maps constantly. I'm not really talking about that. I'm just talking about, are you expecting to get over 100 hours of gameplay out of a game without having a loop, like the actual gameplay? And I don't think that it's really reasonable to expect that a game that costs $5 is gonna give you the same amount of gameplay as you can get in something like Skyrim or Fallout 4 or Cyberpunk 2077 or Witcher 3 or any of those types of games. I don't think that it is really reasonable to expect you to get that amount of gameplay out. So even though I am criticizing the game for not having more skills and more spells and more, like, even classes, like the game does have a class system, but it's not actually a class system. It's not a legitimate class system at the end of the day. Let me just go back in the portal and collect the stuff that dropped on the ground, and I can just very quickly show you. Who's this guy now? What the hell is going on here? Who's this guy? Is this a bug or what's this? This has to be a bug. My character doesn't even look like that. Yeah, like that's a bug right there. You see? Like, yeah, okay, so that's a bug. So yeah, like I said already, like, the game has a lot of bugs. I don't have a huge issue with a game that has a lot of bugs, but there is a limit, you know. Like 5 bugs is maybe okay, 10 bugs is a little bit less okay, 20 bugs, you know, you're starting to reach a point with 20 bugs where it's just not good, you know. And this game, unfortunately, seems to be the type of game that has 20 bugs, because honestly, in my playtime so far, I've seen at least 10 bugs, honestly. So yeah, the developer really needs to work on the bugs, and also needs to work on the explanations. I mean, not even telling the player what strength and dexterity and all of those kinds of things do is really unacceptable. So anyway, if we go in here and we just select whatever and we go next, you will see here that there is a quote-unquote class system. But quite honestly, there is no difference between them except the weapon that you get at the beginning and the skills that you can select. Like, I, on my current character, can select any of these skills and can get any of these weapons. Even these ones, you can get any of these skills, select any of these weapons. The only thing is that this changes the very beginning of the game. So if you prefer a ranged build, then this hunter character will start you with a bow and a couple of arrows, even though the game doesn't give you infinite arrows. It just starts you with a couple of arrows. If you prefer a melee character, you can take this one and it will start you with a shield and an axe, or shield and a club, anything like that. So it really just changes the beginning of the game. It doesn't really change anything else in the game. So, but it would have been nice if every class perhaps got a special ability, you know, like a special thing that is specific to that character, you know. It would have been nice. It's also a little bit unfair that this character, the custom character, gets more stats in total than any of the other characters. So if you look over here, this character gets a total of 40 attributes. So it's 10, 10, 10, 10, and then 40 health. All of the other classes get less than that. So if you look over here, even if we assign all of these, okay, no, that's now leveled out. Where's the other one? I saw one that doesn't have that. 5. Okay, no, that's leveled out. Or did I have a fucking big imagination? Apparently I had a big imagination because I could have sworn they had different stats. That these characters had less stats than this character. But no, apparently not. Apparently I just had a big imagination. But okay, no, that's fine then. But yeah, like I say, I would have liked it if the characters had like a special skill. Each character, like the mage, perhaps had, I don't know, passive mana regeneration added or something, and then the barbarian, I don't know, had a bigger chance to stun enemies or some shit like that, you know. So just to enhance the character fantasy and the role-playing fantasy of each of the different characters, because right now there is literally no difference between all of the characters. Like in the later game, there's no difference. Any of the classes can use any of the weapons, any of the classes can use any of these skills. And the starting stats being a little bit different, honestly, it just takes one level up where you get 5 skill points, and then you can make one class the same as another class. So there's really no difference between the classes, to be honest. So yeah, guys, honestly, at the end of the day, I can definitely recommend the game for $5. I definitely. $5, this game will give you probably in excess of a dozen hours of gameplay, you know? It's a very basic game. It's a rogue-like game, very much. It's like Rogue. Graphics aren't very good. You can't really expect a huge amount in the graphics department and the gameplay department from a game that is like Rogue, because Rogue was a very, very basic game. So any game that is a Rogue-like cannot have very good graphics, cannot have a lot of expansive gameplay beyond the structure of Rogue, to be honest, because it's based on Rogue. So for $5, you're not gonna get Skyrim, you're not gonna get Fallout, even though I would like this game, I would like this developer to just add more classes, more skills, more spells, expand the inventory so that you don't have to go back to town every now and then. You know, all of that kind of stuff. Just more. But for $5, honestly, what do you expect? So for $5 at the end of the day, if you can even get a dozen hours or 20 hours of gameplay out of a game, that is pretty good in my opinion. That is a fair playtime to money exchange, in my opinion, you know? If you want to get a game that can give you like 200 hours of gameplay, which this game probably won't be able to do, then you have to look towards something like Skyrim or Cyberpunk 2077 or Fallout 5 or anything like that, you know. But obviously then you're not paying $5 anymore, then you're paying $50, you know. So yeah, but anyway, at the end of the day, I think it's a good roguelike game. There are not many roguelike games on Steam. There's probably, I would say, less than 30 roguelike games on Steam. There's like Tangledeep. I have done a review on Tangledeep before. Tangledeep is a pretty good roguelike. But that one, even Tangledeep, let me just double check the price quickly. I think it was like around $20. Tangledeep, $15. So yeah, Tangledeep is a good rogue-like, and it is a true rogue-like, just like this game is a rogue-like. And yeah, but that game is $15, even though I would recommend, honestly, I would recommend Tangledeep over this game, over Once Upon a Dungeon, honestly, because Tangledeep just has more of everything. The graphics is better, there's more classes, there's more class identity, there's more skills, there's a bigger talent tree, there's more items, there's just more of everything. It is a very, very good rogue-like. Honestly, it might be the best rogue-like since Rogue, honestly, Tangledeep. So yeah, Tangledeep is a very good game, but like I say, Tangledeep is $15, and Once Upon a Dungeon is $5. You know, so really, if you want to pay 3 times what you would pay for Once Upon a Dungeon, then you can totally do that. You can see here the amount of skills that the game has, and this is just a single class. It's not even all of the classes, and you can scroll up and down quite a lot. Like this game has a huge amount of class identity and skills and passives and abilities and spells. It's just really quite impressive. Even though I see they haven't updated the game in 2 years, which is unfortunate, because I really would have liked it if they just kept on improving this game. But anyway, like I already said, Once Upon a Dungeon is worth $5. I can definitely say that it is worth $5. This game is very much worth $15. So it just really depends. Both of them are roguelike games, and it just really depends on your budget. If you only have $5, then by all means you can buy and play Once Upon a Dungeon. If you have $15, then I would rather recommend Tangledeep. If you're looking for a roguelike, and like I say, there's not a lot of roguelikes on Steam. If you're looking for a roguelike, Tangledeep is probably the best roguelike that I have played since Rogue. And Rogue is also on Steam, I believe. I'm not sure. I think it's on Steam. There we go. So Rogue is on Steam, and yeah, if you want Rogue, if you want to know what all Rogue-like games are based on, even though, as I already said, pretty much 95% of games that claim to be a roguelike are liars and imposters, then you can check out Rogue. It's like $2 on Steam. But yeah, like this is brutal. Like it's a brutal game. The graphics are brutal. The gameplay is brutal. It's just a little bit too old, honestly. It's a little bit too old. But yeah, otherwise, by all means, I can recommend Once Upon a Dungeon. I just hope that the developers fix a lot of the bugs, because already in today's video we saw a couple of bugs, and before that as well I saw a couple of different bugs, and obviously the quality of life features, there's quite a lot of missing quality of life features that I would like to see fixed. But yeah guys, that's pretty much it. Once again, thanks to the developers for sending me a key. For the instances where developers don't send me a key, I have to buy the game with my own money, and in a lot of instances I can't do that without your support. I, on average month, like spend $200 on games in an average month, and I wouldn't be able to do that if it weren't for your support on patreon.com/LFP. So if you want to see more game reviews, and if you want to enable me to do more reviews for you guys, then your support on patreon.com/LFP would be very much appreciated. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I will see you guys next time.